Will Wuthering Waves fail like Tower of Fantasy? Seeing as Wuthering Waves is getting a huge amount of attention, I started thinking about what the future looks like for this game. And the first thing that came to mind was, will this end up being the second Tower of Fantasy? Keep in mind that everything that is said in this video is simply educated speculation. Going to the main topic, I think that the reason I immediately thought of TOF was because I saw a lot of similarities between its stylish combat and graphic design. To determine if Wuthering Waves would be as successful as Genshin Impact, we need to answer some questions that might lead us to the answer. The first question is, are there going to be players who are going to play Wuthering Waves? There is a huge possibility that Genshin Impact players, Honkai Star Rail, and other gacha gamers will be the highest player count that would try Wuthering Waves in the first week of release. And this game has been very hyped on different types of platforms, especially TikTok. So, there won't be any problems in terms of players, but another question arises: can they make them stay? Now, this is the problem that Tower of Fantasy faced, where most of the players just came to try the game and just came back to their respective gacha games. To answer the question, we need to see why the Tower of Fantasy flopped. Tower of Fantasy in itself is not a bad game. In fact, it was very fun. I would know because I spent a significant amount of time playing the game and almost reached the max level. But why did it fail? The reasons that it flopped are that it was extremely buggy at release, and that it felt like the release was rushed. They advertised it as the Genshin killer, which the Genshin community obviously didn't like, which should have been a huge chunk of their player base. If not because of this, players just found that they think that Genshin is still better overall as it's more polished and it just simply feels the same. And most likely they could just play one grindy game because most of the Genshin players are already adults that have responsibilities. Another possible reason is that it's very grindy, where you need to keep up with everybody and reach the level cap every day just so you don't fall behind. And the biggest reason yet is the cheaters. Going back to Wuthering Waves, these are the things that hopefully they have already noted and hopefully don't make the same mistake. But what is the edge of Wuthering Waves over the other already dominant gacha games on the market? What is different about this game that we would want to play Wuthering Waves more than the gacha games that we're already playing? This is the question that we won't be able to answer yet until the full game gets released. But there are some mechanics that are already being offered, as we have seen in the early beta test, that we usually don't see in our normal gacha RPG games. Some examples include being able to run through walls, so Genshin players won't have their PTSD activated from mountain climbing, and dodging would be more valuable because you won't have Zhongli here. I keep giving Genshin as an example because a lot of people just call Wuthering Waves a Genshin clone. Though the gameplay may be similar, there are also a lot of significant differences that they changed between them, such as the one mentioned. Plus, having a certain kind of similarity would help players coming from a similar game as Wuthering Waves to help them transition smoothly, making it more enjoyable as you don't have to learn much and could just implement what you already know in the other similar games. But I think that this similarity could make or break this game. Having this similarity could just lead them back to the gacha games that they're already playing. But on the other side of the coin, they may like the slightly different mood, new characters, gameplay, and the way they fixed some problems that you could see in other popular RPG gacha games. Overall, to answer the question of whether this game would flop like the Tower of Fantasy, only time will tell, but I see some promising developments that would definitely make this game worth a try. What do you think about Wuthering Waves? Are you going to be one of the first to try it? Tell me in the comments. Also, leave a like and subscribe so I know that you like content like this.